Good evening, everyone, and welcome here to Moore Park for the first SCBL game for your Queen City Corndogs and for the home Mooresville Spinners in a week. Tropical Storm Brett has done its damage throughout the Carolinas and postponed SCBL play for 7 days. Happy to be back with you on a beautiful evening here in Mooresville, North Carolina for Game 3 of the season series between your Queen City Corndogs and the Mooresville Spinners. Spinners currently lead 2-0 in the season series, beat Queen City at their own place 12-0 earlier in June. And then on June 13th, the Corndogs traveled here and lost 3-4 in a defensive battle. Now it's the third edition of this SCBL matchup, and we're just moments away from starting here at Moore Park with the Corndogs first up the bat, leading off with reigning SCBL Player of the Week, Wilson Lohr. We'll get into all the matchups, all the headlines, and everything you might have missed. Up ahead, I'm Jonah Weintraub, and thank you for tuning into Corndogs Baseball. We'll start things off in just a second. All right. Let's play some ball. Been a long time since we could say that for either of these squads. But blue skies here tonight and a change of pace as the weather finally allows us to play. And the first pitch of the evening is a ball from number 31, the pitcher for the Spinners. Zach Martin getting his third start of the season, or should I say making his third appearance of the season in the start. As Lohr, did he go on that one? It looks like he did, so they're going to rule it a 1-1 count here on Lohr, who, as we mentioned, is the reigning SCBL Player of the Week. Has been an absolute revelation for this Corndog squad and starts things off with yet another hit. A leadoff single for Lohr to get things started for the Corndogs, and they need to see the ball make contact with the bat because in 2 games versus Mooresville all year, they only have 6 hits total. That's right. Which sends up Cannon Pierce, who won SCBL Player of the Week prior to Wilson Lohr. So the Corndogs, through 2 weeks, have 2 conference Players of the Week. And this is a crucial game. 5 teams in the SCBL within 1 game of first place, as that one is fouled back by Cannon Pierce. But the Statesville Owls are 6-3 in the conference to lead things in the SCBL, but Corndogs are 5th and only 1 game back. 5 out of the 6 teams drawing for position, and these head-to-heads become important as the pitch from Martin is high for ball number 2. Cannon Pierce up at the plate. The lefty from UNC Asheville has been one of the best players for the Corndogs so far this season. Batting .415, which is good for 3rd on the team in average, as that one is high to once again make it a 2-0 count. Zach Martin, now in his 7th inning of action on the season, has 6 strikeouts, 5 walks heading into this game. The sophomore from Newton, North Carolina, making the start tonight against Queen City. As he winds this one up, and it is launched up, but it's going to go into left center field and be handled by the center fielder, Adams Fawcett, for the first out of the evening. That will send up number 11, Tyler Cotto, who wears 11 when the Corndogs sport these gorgeous yellow uniforms. Normally wearing 38, but we only have so many numbers to give around, especially let alone for 3 uniform combinations. So number 11, Tyler Cotto, the leading home run man in the SCBL, sees pitch 1 go for a ball. The Spinners faithful here thought that one might have been down into the strike zone, but umpire Says not today. And it looks like Lohr is going to gun it, and Lohr, without any hesitation, is going to get over there. The catcher, Allen, unable to even get the throw off. So for Lohr, that is another stolen base. He's now in the team lead with 10 of them on the season. Was tied with Cannon Pierce for 9. As that one is a swing and a miss from Cotto, who has been the best power hitter for the Corndogs and in the conference as a whole. Tied for the conference lead in home runs with 3 of them. Has 5 in total on the season. And now seeing a 2-1 pitch from Martin with the first runner in scoring position of the night. But that one is going to hold Lohr at second. Nice base running there from Lohr. And Cotto will get thrown out at first. So 2 down here for the Spinners, sending up Dylan Lewis, number 42, up to bat. Lewis so far on the year, batting just a hair under 300, has been one of these productive middle-of-the-order batters for Queen City, and has a runner in scoring position, which has plagued the Corndogs at times, especially against the Spinners last time in the 3-4 loss. Queen City left 10 runners on base in that contest, and in a 1-run loss, that ended up proving to be the difference. So early 1-0 count here on Lewis. Lohr still on second, taking a sizable lead. The pitch is whiffed on by Lewis, evening the count at 1. For Zach Martin, who's still just 1 out away here. Martin, a 6'4" righty from Catawba Valley Community College. Surveying Lohr at second, and that one is lined out over the head of the outfielder. The play is not going to be made, and Lohr is going to round third and bring this thing home. A double for Dylan Lewis, and the first run of the night for the Corndogs. Nice start here for Queen City as they make the game 1-0 in the top of the first inning. Can't get too excited, though, as in the last game between these two squads, Queen City did put up a run in the first inning and then allowed 4 in the bottom of the first. Wouldn't be able to come back in that one. But capitalizing with runners on base, a sight that manager Jeff Pluta's got to like to see. So the first extra base hit of the night for the Corndogs with number 13, Luke Harris, trying to keep the good vibes going. Lewis is at second. And Harris sees that one go into the dirt and above the head of the catcher, Allen, and Dylan Lewis will just trot on over to third base, giving the Corndogs another opportunity to bring in one at the top of the first. Luke Harris from Limestone College playing in the outfield per usual tonight. Didn't see a lot of action over a recent stretch of the season, but just got back into the lineup against the Regulators in the Corndogs' last game on June 17th, where they won 17-7, and that one is above the head of the catcher again. But Dylan Lewis holds at third. Luke Harrison, 1 of 2 with an RBI single in that contest. His first action in a good bit of time, but batting .294 on the season, 3 RBIs. Looking to make it 4 right here and give the Corndogs a 2-run lead. Martin trying to get out of the inning, and that one is lined right to the shortstop. That is Mason Lyda, who throws it over to first and ends this thing in the top of the first with the Corndogs getting out to an early 1-0 lead here at Moore Park. We'll be back for the bottom of the first after this quick break. bottom of the first inning here. Corndogs out to an early 1-0 lead. And the pitcher, Seth Edgerton, taking the bump tonight in the start for Queen City. Throws the ball on his first pitch to Aiden Evans, who's up to bat. Make the count 2-0 on Evans. And Edgerton, the sophomore from Belmont Abbey, is steadily improving right before our very eyes. Has progressively gotten better throughout the season, and the first batter that he sees is going to fly out right there. A nice chase down by Garrett Sanner to get the first out of the game for the Corndogs. Was able to get under that one just in time. And that will be one down here for Queen City, as it looks like number 3, Jared Foley, is heading up to bat for his first opportunity of the evening. Foley, one of the outfielders for this squad, but also plays in the infield as well. Really a utility guy is Foley, entering his senior year at Emory and Henry, and that pitch goes way above the head of Harrison Boothilette behind the plate. 1-0 count here for Edgerton. And as I was saying, Edgerton has really, really improved. Got his ERA all the way down to 4.15. Leads the Corndogs in strikeouts with 17 of them on the season, and has done that in only 8.2 innings. In his last 2 games, he's combined for 8 strikeouts in 4 innings. Gaining more and more confidence as the season goes on, and the 2-0 pitch is popped up. Nathan Sammy pursuing it at third, and Sammy will glove that one for the second pop out of the evening. And 2 up, 2 down here for Mooresville, as that'll send up number 6, Noah Love, the senior from Concord, North Carolina. Love went 2 of 3 in the last game between these two squads. Has been one of the more consistent players on this Spinners squad, as with no runners on, 2 outs. The first pitch he sees is lined out into the outfield. Singleton trying to chase it, but unable to get there in time. Love rounding over to second, and he'll get there. So a first pitch double right there for Noah Love, and the first hit allowed of the night by Seth Edgerton. Now runner in scoring position for the Spinners, which sends up number 35, Davis Turner. Davis Turner, the catcher for the Spinners. 5'11", 190-pounder. Right here from Mooresville, North Carolina. One of the big bats here for the Spinners. There's really 2 guys that are extremely dangerous power hitters for Mooresville, and Turner is one of them, but the first pitch he sees is dribbled off towards the Corndogs dugout for a foul. So an 0-1 count here on Turner, who's batting .333 in 9 games. The lefty went 1 of 3 with multiple RBIs on a double against Queen City the last time these two squads faced off, and he takes a swing at that one for strike number 2. And now just 1 pitch away for Edgerton, trying to bring things to the top of the second and preserve this Corndogs lead that they got off the Dylan Lewis double. Edgerton looks this one in, and it is a swing and a miss. A team-high 10 strikeouts now for Davis Turner, and a team-high for strikeouts thrown with 18 now on the season for Seth Edgerton, which brings us to the top of the second. Corndogs up 1-0. top of the second inning here between the Corndogs and the Spinners. Queen City out to a 1-0 lead, and Garrett Sander up to bat out to a 1-0 lead in his count. Ball one thrown by Martin there, and Sander leading things off here for Queen City in the top of the second. Sees that pitch go in for strike number one. Sander last got action against these Spinners on the road, and the 3-4 loss went 0-4 in that contest, but still batting an impressive 333 on the year with among the team high in hits, 15 of them on the season. As this pitch is going just above the strike zone, make it a even 2-2 count now for Sander. Charlotte native goes to Lenore. Ryan has been one of the most consistent contact hitters for Queen City, as that one is barely making contact but keeps the count alive at a 2-2 count here. Barely tipped it. Sander fourth on the Corndogs in average on the season with that 333 batting average that we talked about. The team as a whole batting 285, not too shabby here, as the 2-2 pitch is grounded right back to Martin, who will have the simple flip over to Love at first. One up, one down in the top of the second here, and that'll send up Caleb Singleton for the Corndogs. Martin yet to record a strikeout tonight so far. All six batters for Queen City have made contact with the ball in one way or another, but Caleb Singleton doesn't make any there as he swings and misses on strike number one. If there is one knock on Singleton, who's had a fantastic season, it is that he does strike out more than anybody else on this roster. But just about every other category, you can ask nothing more from Caleb Singleton, the Lander University product, who sees that one go by his ankles for ball number two. Singleton batting just under 290 with 12 hits and 9 RBIs, including a solo home run on the season. But that one is going to be a strike. Singleton was trying to dig that one out of the dirt. It evens the count at 2 up now. Martin trying to bounce back from allowing that run in the top of the first as Singleton fouls that one back. Keeps the count at 2 apiece. The Corndogs last played on June 17th in a 17-7 win over the Regulators. And that's going to be a strikeout right there for Singleton, continuing to extend his team lead in Ks. The Corndogs in that game had their season high in runs, got 12 RBIs on 19 hits to put up those 17 tallies, and only struck out 4 times so far. The Corndogs have only struck out once so far tonight, as Harrison Bouthillette, with no runners on and 2 outs, heads up to the plate and takes pitch one high for ball number one. Bouthillette, number 37 for Queen City, went 2 of 4 in his last game with an RBI double, as that pitch is almost in the exact same location for ball number two. Bouthillette, 10 hits, 10 RBIs, including a home run earlier in the season. Looked like he was going to maybe go for that one, but holds back and takes a strike right down Main Street, so make it a 2-1 count now on Bouthillette. He's batting .263 on the season, and that one is right down the middle again for strike number 2. A chance for Zach Martin and the Spinners to go 3 up, 3 down after allowing 1 run in the top of the first. The pitch is dealt low and bring up a full count now for Bouthillette. And Bouthillette, top 3 on the Corndogs roster in walks, gets on base via the ball good amount of times, but that time he rips that one foul. Count stays full. And Bouthillette Last time he was here, didn't have his best showing, went 0 of 3, struck out twice against the Spinners, though the starting pitcher that night, Braden Kurtz, got plenty of them, and that one is popped straight up and back. So once again, the count keeps itself at 3-2. Bouthelet is second on the Corndogs in strikeouts on the season. Had 2 of them, as we mentioned, last time he was at Moore Park. And that one is going to be a walk. So Bouthelet wins the at-bat. And that will bring up Miller St. John and towards the bottom of the order here with St. John and then Sammy. That's the first walk of the night here for Zach Martin. 6'4", 200 pounds on the bump tonight for the Spinners, as this one is dealt just outside for ball number 1. Miller St. John up at bat. Only has 1 hit on the season, 3 RBIs. Looking to get the bat going here, as that one is whiffed on for a 1-1 count now. St. John, a late addition to the Corndogs roster after he was with Gaston College in the Junior College World Series. St. John goes on that one again, so 1-2 count and a chance for Zach Martin to end things here in the top of the second. The pitch is high though, so St. John lives to see another day. Count evens up at 2. St. John is going to Lenore Ryan with his teammate Garrett Sanner after this season is over. Transferring to Lenore Ryan after 2 years at Gaston College. So that pitch, which was fouled off the foot of St. John, brings up a 2-2 count once again. Martin shakes off the pitch, knows what he wants. Takes a breath, loads this one in, and that one is lined over to Lyda at short. The throw on the run is made, and a nice play there from Mason Lyda to bring us to the bottom of the second inning with the Corndogs still leading 1-0. Welcome back, ladies and gents. Bottom of the second inning here between the Corndogs and the Spinners. Queen City up to a 1-0 lead here early. Spinners trying to climb back into this one. Starts off with number 30, Jacob Beber at the plate. Watches strike one from Edgerton sink into the zone. Beber from Caldwell Community College. Through SCBL play is 2 of 7 in 3 appearances. Coincidentally, 2 of those have come against the Corndogs. But in that last matchup against Queen City, Beber did go 0 of 2 with 2 strikeouts. Looking to change his fortunes here as that one is grazed off towards the stop. Count now at 1-2. Edgerton, who is in sole possession of the Corndogs' lead for strikeouts, trying to add one more to his list after striking out Davis Turner in the bottom of the first inning. Edgerton loads this one up, and it is another strikeout, so 2 on the evening for Edgerton, who continues his excellence on the bump. And that'll bring up number 5, Jeremy Green Jr. Only 1 base runner allowed so far for the Corndogs. As Green steps to the plate. Green entering his senior year at Emory and Henry College. Lines this one on the first pitch he sees over to St. John at short, who tosses it over to Tyler Cotto and gets the second out. 1 pitch, 1 out there, and 2 outs on the inning. Corndogs making quick work of the Spinners with number 7, Stephen Smith, heading up to bat. Smith, a teammate of Jeremy Green and multiple other guys on this Spinners roster at Emory and Henry College, fouls that first pitch back. Green on the season, only 527, but has 5 hits, 5 RBIs, and a home run, as that one is fouled back once again. So a quick 0-2 hole here for Stephen Smith, junior from Salisbury, North Carolina. Edgerton on the 0-2 pitch, launches that one in, and the third consecutive one fouled in the wrong direction. Nevertheless, Stephen Smith stays alive in the count. 5'9", 160-pound righty. Also gets some action on the bump. Did so against the Corndogs in his last outing against this matchup, we should say. When the Corndogs last visited, it was Stephen Smith who really closed the door on Jeff Pluta's squad. Now Edgerton trying to close the door on Stephen Smith, but unable to do that. So a 2-2 count coming up. Edgerton has allowed 1 hit so far, 2 strikeouts. And that is going to be strike number 3. Edgerton gets his second K of the inning, third of the contest, and brings us to the third with the Corndogs still on top, 1-0. Top of the third inning, Corndogs still out to their 1-0 lead that they got at the top of the first. And bottom of the order up for Queen City, Nathan Sammy, who has been red hot. Sees pitch one go for a ball. Sammy has gone yard in back-to-back games and sees that one in for strike number one. After batting sub 200 for most of the season, Sammy has gone the distance with back-to-back contest with a home run, and it's seen him bring that average all the way up to 222, 6 hits, 4 RBIs, and now a 3-1 count for the Middlebury product. Charlotte native. Last time against Mooresville went 0 of 1, and that pitch from Martin will bring up a full count here. Sammy looking to stay hot and grounds this one over to third. The flip is made, and that is number 3 for the Spinners, Jared Foley, excuse me, who throws Sammy out at first, sending up Wilson Lohr. Once again, as the top of the order back around here for Queen City, Lohr singled in his first time out, bringing his hit total to 17 on the year. Came into this game only trailing Cannon Pierce and Tyler Cotto in hits for the Corndogs, but he's done it in less game action. Really didn't get on the field that much for after the first game until SCBL play started. So during the early out-of-conference slate, Wilson Lohr was on the dugout for majority of those games, came back and has been fantastic for Queen City as that pitch is at the knees of Lohr, bringing up a 3-0 count. Lohr has that pitch go high for ball number 4. So 4 pitches, 4 balls, and a base runner here for Queen City. Lohr went 3 of 4 with 2 stolen bases the last time these two squads played, and was the only player on the Corndogs to record multiple hits. And he actually did 3 times, so got it on base twice tonight. As Cannon Pierce, who popped up the first time he stepped up to the plate, heads to bat now. Pierce tied for the team lead in hits, second in RBIs, and now with a 1-0 count to work with. Cannon Pierce, who's third on the team in average, sees that one go high for ball number 2, and last 6 pitches have all been out of the zone here for Zach Martin, who entered this game with 5 walks and another ball right there. So 3-0 count for the second straight batter. Cannon Pierce, second on the Corndogs in walks. Looking to add another one to his collection here as the pitch is low. Turner tried to frame it behind the plate, but nothing doing for the ump. And now 2 on for Queen City with the Corndogs' best power hitter heading up to the plate, with Turner heading up to the mound now to talk to his pitcher. Martin and Turner going through a quick little conversation here, and can't blame them. Tyler Cotto leads the conference in home runs, leads the Corndogs in slugging percentage, OBP, and OPS. Not the guy you want to have at the plate here in this situation. So after that brief debrief, Tyler Cotto runners on first and second Lohr and Pierce. As Cotto sees that one for strike number one. Didn't go on that one and watched it go right into the middle of the zone. That's the first strike in a while for Zach Martin, so maybe that'll get him back on track on the bump. Surveys Lohr at second and throws a ball just outside for ball number one. Tyler Cotto. Every single broadcast we go over the numbers, and it's for good reason. 17 hits, 17 RBIs, 5 home runs for Cotto on the season. Leads the Corndogs in hits, RBIs, home runs, OPS, slugging, and that one is crushed into the outfield. It lines fair, and that will bring home Lohr. Is Pierce going to try to send it? And he won't, but a double right there, the second of the evening for Queen City, and another run for the Corndogs. Mark it 2-0 on the RBI double from Tyler Cotto. That one just barely went fair, but doesn't matter how barely it goes fair if it does. Corndogs, the beneficiaries of that one, walking the tightrope right there. And so 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out, and Dylan Lewis, who doubled his first time up to bat against Martin this evening, hoping to recreate some of that and continue this hot start for Queen City. The first pitch of this at-bat, though, is not going to be swung at as it's high for ball number one. Corndogs have 2 extra base hits on the evening already. Something that they've done inconsistently is get extra base hits. Had 4 last game, but out of the 117 on the season, 31 of them have been for extra bases. So the Corndogs get it on base a lot. Have 9 home runs. Do the Corndogs as a team. Lewis has one of those home runs, but also has a strike right there for the count to even up at 1. Dylan Lewis, teammate with Tyler Cotto at Queen's University in Charlotte. Sporting number 42. Was 0-3 his last time against Mooresville. Already 1 of 1 with a double. And that pitch is going to be another ball, making the count 2-2. Martin in a bit of a jam now, as that one is popped up and back behind us. So, back to regularly scheduled programming, as a 2-2 pitch from Martin is wound up, thrown in, and that is lined up into center field. Gets right through the gap and brings home another run. Cannon Pierce trotting across home, and now with 3-0 advantage for Queen City, and a visit to the mound for Zach Martin. So we'll be back after this quick deliberation with the Spinners on the bump. new pitcher in the game for the Spinners. Number 46, Jordan Fisher, taking the bump in place of number 31, Zach Martin, whose night is done after allowing 3 runs and 2 more on base here with only 1 out. Fisher having to clean up a mess now, or at least attempt to, as the first pitch that Luke Harris sees is fouled off for strike number 1. Harris grounded out his first at-bat. The Corndogs out to a 3-0 lead here. Runners on the corners, Cotto and Lewis, and the swing and the miss as Lewis is caught in a pickle. He's going to try to get out of this one. If he's able to, the run will count, but Lewis is tagged by Noah Love. So a 1 run comes in, and Lewis tagged out at first. So after a lot going on right there on the base path, Tyler Cotto extends the lead to 4. Lewis unsuccessfully stole that base. And Harris now in an 0-2 hole with no runners on. Queen City adds another run to their tally as that pitch is just high for ball number 1. Jordan Fisher in disbelief, and if there's any pitcher on this roster that's able to help out, it could be Fisher, who's thrown 7 innings in 3 games, only allowed 3 runs. Part of a very talented pitching tandem for this Spinner squad, and gets the out right there as the catch made by Lyda at short brings us to the bottom of the 3rd with the Corndogs tacking on 2 more runs to bring the lead to 4-0.
I see them walking around, a couple Spinner players doing 50-50. Right now they're on the court. Chase them down or haul them out. It's a good day to get the 50-50 ticket. We'll be making that call in the bottom of the 7th inning. 50-50 tickets. Now moving about.
Bottom of the 3rd inning here. The Corndogs out to a nice 4-0 lead, and Seth Edgerton trying to defend it on the bump with a good start for Edgerton in his mission of doing that, as Adams Fawcett takes a looking strike on pitch number 1 from Seth Edgerton, who has held the Spinners scoreless so far through 2. And that one is high for a 1-1 count. Edgerton in his last contest against the Regulators allowed no hits in 2 innings with 4 strikeouts and no earned runs. Practically a flawless appearance in his last outing for Edgerton, building off of that tonight with a handful of strikeouts. against the Spinners as this pitch is high once again. Count now marked at 3-1. Adams Fawcett at the plate. The outfielder and leadoff batter in the last game between these two. Batting towards the bottom of the order tonight. So a leadoff walk. And that'll send up number 25, Cole Drury. It's not a guy you ever want to see at the plate, especially with a runner on base. Cole Drury, entering his sophomore year at Catawba Valley Community College, is a power hitter in every sense of the word. Tied for the conference lead in home runs with 3 of them in SCBL play. 2 in his last game versus the Statesville Owls. And a strike 1 right there for Drury. Drury got his 3rd home run against the Corndogs here at Moore Park when these teams squared off back on June 13th. As the steal attempt from Fawcett is going to be good, so Fawcett makes his way over to second and puts a runner in scoring position. As the count now on Drury looks to be, says 0-2 here. I thought, yeah, it's 1-1. So 1-1 count on Drury. This one dealt low for ball number 2. Drury went 2 of 3 with a 2-run homer against the Corndogs. Last time these two teams played, as we mentioned. And in his last game, not only did he have those two home runs, but the 3 RBIs were the only 3 runs of the night for the Spinners, who lost to the Owls 9-3. With a quick time here as Harrison Boothilette wants to go over something with Edgerton. Cole Drury leads this Spinner squad in conference play with RBIs and home runs, 9 and 3 respectively. Only done that in 5 games of conference play. So efficient with his bat is Drury, as that one gets him swinging and evens up the count at 2 up. Big opportunity for Seth Edgerton, who has slowly ascended into the Corndogs' leading strikeout man, has 2 strikes here. Fawcett on second base. The pitch is low and brings up a crucial full count here in the bottom of the 3rd. Drury, 5'11", 230-pounder from Shelby, North Carolina, sees this pitch and chops it foul, so the count stays at 3-2. And Edgerton not only has 17 strikeouts heading into this game, has more than that now, obviously, but he did it in 8.2 innings, which, for reference, 7 guys on the roster have pitched more innings than Seth Edgerton. And yet he still leads the Corndogs in strikeouts, so he's really been getting it done. Back-to-back appearances with 4 Ks and no hits in only 2 innings. As that one is another strikeout for Edgerton. Make it 4 on the night for the Belmont Abbey product. And a big at-bat right there for Edgerton, striking out one of the premier power hitters in our SCBL conference. Which brings up Mason Lyda, number 2 for the Spinners. Senior from Emory and Henry College, one of the many guys that go to E&H on this Spinners roster. The lefty has Fawcett at second and a 1-0 count in favor of him. Lyda from Mills River, North Carolina. The lefty getting his first look of the evening at Seth Edgerton. 1 out so far. Fawcett taking a lead at second. Edgerton has that one go high. And when Edgerton's missing, it's tended to be high. Luckily for him, though, there's been a lot more hits than misses, and not the hits with the bat, hits in the strike zone. As it's a 2-0 count, Edgerton deals that one in, and it's fouled back by Lyda. On a night that is jam-packed here at Moore Park, it's their annual craft beer night / food truck night, drawing out a lot of fans on this beautiful Saturday evening after a week of postponed games from the weather. And fans might need an umbrella for that one as it pops up over into the stands. But it's just a packed night here at Moore Park. Great atmosphere for baseball. And a great start for Queen City. Slow starts have been plaguing the Corndogs as of late, apart from their last game against the Regulators. They had given up 4 runs in back-to-back first innings, as this pitch from Edgerton is outside of the zone and brings up a full count on Lyda. One down for the Corndogs. Fawcett still on second, not taking much of a lead now. As this pitch is a strikeout, 5 on the evening for Seth Edgerton, who is continuing his dominance on the bump in front of our very eyes. 2 down here for Seth, and that will send up. It looks like that's gonna be, trying to get the number here. Well, we'll let you know when we'll let you know, or I guess I'll let you know. So the pitch from Edgerton is high for ball number 1, and that's actually Aiden Evans. So the top of the order back here for the Spinners. Evans goes to Wilmington University, sees that pitch go high for ball number 2. He's played 5 games in the conference season, batting a more than respectable .316. Though, against the Corndogs, went 0 of 1 with 2 strikeouts, or 0 of 2 with 2 strikeouts, as Edgerton goes right down Central Avenue for strike number 1. Evans, a sophomore from Cornelius, North Carolina, not too far away, has Fawcett on second base, and Fawcett looks like he's going to go, but that is fouled back and will bring up an even 2-2 count. Fawcett has to take the walk all the way back to second. And now Edgerton, who already has struck out 5 batters on the night, 1 strike away from doing it once again. Aiden Evans appears to be all right. That one came close to hitting off his dome, maybe even hit off the visor of his helmet. So back in action here. 2-2 count. 2 down. Bottom of the 3rd. Fawcett taking a lead at second, and Edgerton loads this one in for his 6th strikeout of the game. Pure dominance on the bump from the Belmont Abbey product. And that'll bring us to the top of the 4th inning, where the Corndogs still up to a 4-0 lead. All right, ladies and gentlemen, back here for the fourth inning of action between the Corndogs and the Spinners. Queen City still out to a 4-0 lead as the bunt attempt from Garrett Sanner somehow goes over the net. That was a purely vertical bunt right there to bring the count to 0-1. Jeff Fluta trying to get Sanner on base via the bunt. One of the quicker guys on this Corndogs roster. Stolen 6 bags on the season. With Jordan Fisher back on the mound for his first full inning of action, and that pitch is in there for strike number 2. Fisher, part of a really fantastic tandem of Spinners pitchers. The Spinners have, so far through the season, swept the 2 SCBL Pitcher of the Week awards. Braden Kurtz earned his for striking out 8 Corndogs the last time these squads played, and that's going to be a strikeout right there looking on Sanner, courtesy of Jordan Fisher, who hasn't won a Pitcher of the Week yet, but Fisher leads the Spinners in strikeout to base on ball ratio. 12 Ks now, only 1 walk, and has done so in just over 8 innings, or approaching 8 innings, as second strikeout of the night for the Spinners. Brings up Caleb Singleton, who lays down the bunt, and he is one of those fast guys on the team as well, but he is thrown out at first. Noah Love gloves that one, and quick 2 up, 2 down here for Queen City. Singleton barely gets thrown out. Close call for the Lander University Lancer, but it'll go as a ground out. So that sends up Harrison Bouthillette, who has the first walk of the night for the Corndogs in his last at-bat. Sees this pitch from Fisher and launches it straight up, but out of play, so make it 0-1. Jordan Fisher .215-pounder from Appalachian State, where he's entering his sophomore year, the native of Stanley, North Carolina. Making his 4th appearance of the season for the Spinners. Looking good so far in this inning, as this pitch is fouled back once again, so a 1-2 count on Bouthillette.
That's called strike 2.
Bouthillette, 2 of 4 in his last outing. Got a double in that one, as Fisher now just 1 strike away from bringing things to the bottom of the 4th. The App State product winds this one up, and it is fouled back once again. Now one looks like it might have hit the lights here from the powerful lefty from San Jacinto Community College, or should I say entering his freshman year. There is Bouthillette, one of the most storied JUCO programs in all of America, really. As the 1-2 pitch here from Fisher takes a deep breath, loads this one in, and that will not be a strikeout, so it'll be inside. The Spinners faithful, infuriated with that call, thought that they had Bouthillette looking for the strikeout. But instead we have a 2-2 count here, no runners on, 2 down, and that'll do it. So Bouthillette strikes out for the first time this evening, and Jordan Fisher goes 3 up, 3 down to send us to the bottom of the 4th. Welcome back, everyone, for the bottom of the fourth inning, where a new pitcher is in the game to help the Corndogs defend their 4-0 lead. J.J. DeVos stepping up to the bump after some fine work in the start by Seth Edgerton. 6 strikeouts and 3 innings of work for the Belmont Abbey product. And now the Gaston College Rhino steps up, and that one is lined over to St. John, another Gaston College Rhino, and an out right there for Jared Foley, unable to get the first in time. So first batter that DeVos sees gets him in the rhythm of things as Noah Love heads up to the plate. Noah Love, senior from Limestone College, where the left fielder for the Corndogs, Luke Harris, also attends. And in SCBL play, you see a lot of overlap between these players and schools throughout the region, as DeVos throws that pitch high and inside for ball number 1. Working with 1 out, no runners on is DeVos, who last pitched against the Regulators, where he tossed 3 innings pitched, allowed 3 earned runs, and had 2 strikeouts. Not a bad day on the job, as that one is not a bad hit, but not good enough either, as Dylan Lewis able to track it down in the outfield and give the Corndogs their second out in as many batters. So Davis Turner heads up to bat, the powerful catcher from Limestone College, which we just mentioned, following up his teammate Noah Love. Turner from Mooresville grounds this one over to Cotto, who scoops it up and gives the Corndogs and J.J. DeVos a 3-up, 3-down top of the 4th to bring us to the bottom of the 4th inning, with the Corndogs protecting their 4-0 lead. Welcome back, everyone, for a game that's gone by pretty quickly. Corndogs up 4-0 here in the top of the fifth with Miller St. John up to bat. And the first pitch of the inning goes for a ball, courtesy of number 46, Jordan Fisher, who has stepped into the game and held the Corndogs scoreless. As that is a nice strike right there from Fisher. 1-1 count now. Fisher, a 6'4", 215-pounder, with a 2-strike-to-1-ball advantage. St. John at the plate, 0 for 1 tonight with a ground out. As that pitch is low and brings up a 3-2 count, or a 2-2 count, I should say. St. John went 0-3 with 2 strikeouts in his last time against Mooresville, but records the hit for the first time against the Spinners this go around. A single to lead things off for Miller St. John, who had over 45 of them in his sophomore season at Gaston College. So a leadoff single here in the top of the fifth. The Corndogs get back on base, and Nathan Sammy has arguably been the hottest batter for Queen City. Grounded out his first time up. Sees this pitch high for ball number 1. Sammy, against the regulators, went 2 for 2 with that 2-run home run, but the 2-run home run in question also walked off the game in unconventional fashion. It was a run rule, so it put the Corndogs up 10 in the bottom of the 7th. And it served as the deciding runs to help everyone pack up and go home early that night. Now Sammy, as the tag for the second time in a row, trying to pick off St. John, who had double-digit stolen bases in his season with Gaston College, is a flyer along the baseline. And he's going to go on this one. That'll be a strike as he's gone. That will be a tag at second. St. John unable to get there. And so now 1 down, no runners on, and a 2-1 count for Nathan Sammy. Nice throw right there by number 35, Davis Allen, behind the plate for the Spinners. Clearing the bases for his pitcher, Fisher, as that one is low for ball number 3. Or is that ball number 2? It looks like we have a 2-1 count, actually. Jordan Fisher deals this one in, and that is going to be high for the actual ball number 3. Ball number 3. As Sammy goes on that one, bringing it to a full count here. No runners on, 1 out after St. John was caught at second. And a chance here for Fisher to continue the momentum he's gained, only allowing 1 hit. But that's going to be a strikeout. Sammy was already headed over to first, and it looks like the umpire had different plans. So Sammy goes down looking, and now 2 out here in the top of the 5th inning, which brings up the top of the order for the Corndogs. Wilson Lohr, who's gone on base twice this evening, leadoff single in the top of the 1st and got walked his second time up. Lohr, one of the few Corndogs to get walked tonight. 3 walks, 4 strikes. Corndog season average getting walked just under 7 times a game, whereas they're striking out about 6 times a game, so pretty similar numbers in those 2 departments. As the 1-0 count now for Lohr, who has been batting out of his mind, to say the least. Lohr Went 3 of 5 with an RBI against the Regulators. Got 2 steals in that contest. Batting .471 on the season. Over .500 in conference play. As that pitch from Fisher is going to be ruled a ball. So a 2-0 count now. Wilson Lohr, as we've mentioned, the reigning SCBL Player of the Week. Following up Cannon Pierce, who won it week 1. Batted .692 as he goes swinging right there. Batted .692 with 9 hits, 0 strikeouts, and stole 5 bases. That definitely will earn you Player of the Week unless you've got legitimate, unless you've got someone straight from the MLB playing in your league. As that pitch is into the dirt and bounces up for another ball. 3-1 count now. The 0 strikeouts has got to be the most impressive part for Lohr. The fact that he's racking up so many hits and doing it so productively. Lohr's the 4th best on-base percentage on the team and the best average on the team, but that is going to be a walk, so the on-base percentage stays climbing up as 3 at-bats, 3 trips to first base for Lohr, which brings Cannon Pierce up to bat for the 3rd time this evening. Cannon Pierce, so far on the night, 0 of 1. Did get walked his 2nd time up. As that pitch is up high for ball number 1. 2 down here for the Spinners. Looking to keep this game within arm's reach. Cannon Pierce on the season, the .415 batter. Makes contact with that one, but it'll fly over foul. And even the count at 1 apiece. Cannon Pierce, 2nd on the Corndogs in home runs, 1st in doubles, while still batting .415 with a team-high 17 hits, so hitting for both power and for contact. A rare combination for the UNC Asheville sophomore. As that pitch is in there for a strike. Just 1 more needed here for Jordan Fisher. Attempting to put away Queen City here in the top of the 5th. The App State product loads this one up, and it is gone foul. Looks like that was almost a check right there from Cannon Pierce. Didn't really commit to that bat fully, but ends up not mattering. Lohr was actually going for 2nd on that pitch right there, so he'll have to take the walk back to 1st. Same situation as the last pitch. A little bit more time in between. Fisher working a 1-2 count here against Cannon Pierce. The righty on lefty matchup sees Pierce ground this one right through and right past number 7 for the Spinners. That's Steven Smith at 2nd base, who was unable to get to it. And a great at-bat right there from Cannon Pierce for his 1st hit of the evening. So once again, Tyler Cotto, who is 1 of 2 on the night, has a RBI double. For the 2nd time this evening, heads up to bat with 2 runners on. And same narrative goes as the 1st time. Not the guy you want to see at the plate. But that pitch will go in for a strike. Early 0-1 advantage here. The Corndogs, against the Spinners last time they traveled to Moore Park, struck out 11 times in the loss. So far have struck out only 4 times through 5 innings, as that pitch is low here. And for Jordan Fisher on the mound, he'll want to add 1 more strikeout to that list and help him and his Spinners get out of this inning. Kato sees this pitch in, and it is lifted up into the outfield, but it's not going to go far enough. The play made by Jeremy Green Jr., and that will send us to the bottom of the 5th inning with the Corndogs not putting up any runs and still keeping their 4-0 lead here on a beautiful night from Moore Park. Bottom of the 5th inning here. Corndogs still blanking the Spinners. We can try to change things here. Jacob Beber leading things off for Mooresville. Beber, one of the catchers, playing in the designated hitter spot tonight. Sees that first pitch go just outside for a ball. J.J. DeVos still on the mound, who's been a workhorse for this Queen City squad. Entering tonight, led the Corndogs in innings thrown and was 4th on the team in total pitches thrown. A lot of work out of the right arm of DeVos, and Kato going to get under that one and glove it for the first out of the 5th. 4 up and 4 down so far for DeVos. Picking up where Seth Edgerton left off, who had a fantastic start to this game. And if you're worried about there being a slight drop-off with such a good performance being taken out here after 3, fear not, because DeVos thus far has stepped up to the occasion. Now stepping up to the mound, facing Jeremy Green Jr., who skies that one, and it's going to be caught. That one stayed in the air for a long time, but 2 quick fly balls as that one is handled by Miller St. John, which brings up number 7, Steven Smith. Steven Smith with no runners on, 2 quick outs as QC continues making quick work of the Spinners. And really, if you think about it, this is the 5th inning. In their last 13 innings, 14 innings, the Corndogs have held the Spinners scoreless, as another fly ball will go to Kato once again. Can he make the play? Actually, it's going to be Sander making the play. It doesn't matter who makes the play because the play is made. And a quick 3-up, 3-down once again for J.J. DeVos brings us to the 6th inning with the Corndogs protecting their 4-0 lead. All right. Live action here from the 6th inning where the Corndogs still keeping their 4-0 lead intact as a new pitcher into the game for the Spinners, meaning the night of Jordan Fisher is complete. Did a nice job keeping this lead within reach for the Spinners as a quick 0-2 count on Dylan Lewis up to bat. The pitcher in the game for the Spinners is number 14, Matt Lintz, who the Corndogs saw in the first contest between these two squads way back in early June at the Friar. Lintz no-hit the Corndogs in 2 innings of work as that pitch skies over the head of the catcher and hits the backstop, so a 1-2 count. And that night for the Spinners, 12-0 win, a mercy rule against the Corndogs. Lintz started things off with 2 fantastic innings on the bump, and now that's 2 balls to make it a 2-2 count. A lot of 2s thrown around here as number 42, Dylan Lewis, who is 2 for 2 on the night, looking to continue his success, has a double and a single, an RBI on the double, but strikes out right there. So a nice start here for Matt Lintz, who is seeing his 5th game of the season, with Luke Harris heading up to the plate, excuse me. Luke Harris on the night, 0 for in 2 at-bats, playing left field for Queen City. He is number 13 as he grounds out one over the pitcher's mound. Tough play is made by Steven Smith. Not an easy nor routine throw over there by Smith, but able to get it to Noah Love at first and give 2 quick outs here to the Spinners, just what the doctor ordered, with Garrett Sanner heading up to bat for his 3rd opportunity of the night. So far, Sanner has struck out and grounded out as Noah Love dives on top of that one and flips it back to the pitcher, and Lynn supplies the tag. A solid hit by Garrett Sanner, but a better play made right there by Noah Love at first. Gives a 3-up, 3-down inning to Mooresville and brings us to the bottom of the 6th with the Corndogs still on top, 4-0. Welcome back, everyone. Bottom of the 6th inning with a new pitcher in the game for the Corndogs. Will Hansen sees the first pitch he throws, goes right back to him as it's tossed over to Cotto at first. Adams Fawcett for the Spinners, unable to get there in time, and 1 out, 1 pitch here for Will Hansen, number 14, the Charlottean who attends Catholic University of America. One of the workhorses for this Corndog squad, and him and DeVos, who just came out of the game for Queen City, both getting run tonight, and you're able to do that when you have a week off to rest the arms. Last game for either of these teams was on Saturday, as that pitch is launched by Jeremy Green Jr. and tracked down there by Luke Harris. So fast flying action with back-to-back fly balls and back-to-back outs. So that was actually Harris. That wasn't Green, excuse me. That was number 25, Cole Drury, who flew out right there. So Will Hansen has thrown 2 pitches and gotten 2 outs out of them. About as efficient as you can ask. Barely given either side enough time to gather and collect their thoughts. And the first pitch to not go into play is a strike right there for Will Hansen. But as I was saying, Hansen and DeVos, both workhorses, and able to get run on the same night when you have an entire 7 days of rest for those arms. And it's paid off here for Queen City. Edgerton as well, one of those high-volume guys, and all three of them so far have stepped up to the occasion. Now Mason Lyda stepping up to the plate with a 1-1 count. Lyda, the lefty from Emory and Henry College. Going against Hansen, who enters this game with 14.1 innings pitched, among the team leaders in that category, as that one bounces off the dirt into the chest plate of catcher Harrison Bouthelette. Will Hansen also has 15 strikeouts on the season, which is second on the Corndogs behind Seth Edgerton. And he's had those 15 strikeouts with only 2 walks, so very productive is Hansen, who has that one lined over to Sammy at third. Sammy fumbles it. The throw is not in time. Unable to handle that one, but Sammy, in the first base runner of the inning, comes courtesy of an error from Sammy at third. So with runner on base now, that will send up number 16, Aiden Evans, the leadoff man for the Spinners this evening. Going against Will Hansen, who entered this game with a 6.28 ERA. And throws that one low for ball number 1. Hansen, one of the younger pitchers in the rotation, entering his sophomore year at Catholic University of America. The 6-foot, 175-pounder. Second on the team in innings pitched and first in total pitches. So manager Jeff Pluto's gotten a ton out of his right arm. And now a 2-0 count here on Aiden Evans. The Wilmington University product going up against Will Hansen. And with Hansen, even though he has low ball counts, high strikeout count, does allow a fair amount of contact. In fact, Will Hansen has led the Corndogs in hits allowed, and it hasn't been particularly close, but his ERA is still relatively solid, and that's really a testament to the fact that he feels like it's a volume stat in that sense, where he's gotten so many pitches that you give the benefit of the doubt to him in that situation. But a rare walk on Aiden Evans from Hansen. And so 2 on here, which sends up number 3, Jared Foley. Foley went 0 of 3 the first time these teams played here at Moore Park. But in 8 games on the season, has played in 8 out of 9 possible games for the Spinners. Foley batting .296 with a quartet of RBIs. A native of Sparta, North Carolina. Has 2 outs and a runner on first and a runner on second. And now works with a 1-0 count. Will Hansen, in his last appearance, gave up no runs, only allowed 2 hits in 2 innings. Had a strikeout, and that came against Concord. A game that the Corndogs ended up losing, but that pitch is just outside, so make it a 2-0 count here. Only 1 out needed for the Corndogs, and this inning has been a tale of 2 dynamics. The first 2 pitches that were thrown resulted in outs. Meanwhile, back-to-back base runners for Will Hansen on an error by Sammy at first and then a walk. But that one's in the zone for strike number 1. As slowly getting darker here at Moore Park, and that pitch is going to be low for ball number 3, and might have been the commentator's jinx because Will Hansen, we mentioned how he only has 2 walks on the season, on the verge of giving up 2 in as many at-bats. The 6-foot, 175-pound righty deals this one in, and it is lined up into the right center gap. It looks like the runner, Lida's going to try to go home, and he will. So a run here for the Spinners, getting on the board for the first time this evening. Oh, and that ball went into the dugout as well, so that is an automatic run right there for Aiden Evans. So make it 4-2. A 2 RBI double right there. Comes courtesy of Jared Foley. So yeah, now we have a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen, as manager Jeff Pluta heads to the mound to talk things over with Will Hansen in the infield. So we'll be back after that quick conversation. New pitcher in the game for the Corndogs. Will Hansen's night is done after allowing those 2 runs. Runner still on second for the Spinners with 1 out needed for the Corndogs to get out of things. And Jeff Pluta not going to play any games here and bring in number 25, Harrison Wilson. Wilson, the 2-way player, both offense and defense, as well as on the mound. Sophomore from Fort Mill, North Carolina, and he throws with some velocity, ladies and gentlemen. 5 innings pitched and has 10 strikeouts in those 5 innings of work. And he has the best ERA on the roster. Granted, in those limited innings, but still the only Corndog without a run allowed so far this season. And that's exactly why you call on him in this situation, as the 1-1 pitch is just outside for ball number 2. Harrison Wilson, 6'3", 215 pounds, and even though he's a position player, more often than not when we see him in the lineup for Queen City, boy can he throw the ball on the mound, as this one is catapulted up and out of play for strike number 2. Queen City just one strike away. Not many better guys on the roster to call on than Harrison Wilson, who, as we mentioned, is averaging about 2 strikeouts an inning that he's been at work. Noah Love at the plate for Mooresville. Grounds that one over to Wilson, who makes the error on the play, unable to get there, and the backhand glove just goes away from Harrison Wilson. So another lucky break here. The Nathan Sammy error earlier in the inning brings out that error brings out Jeff Pluto once again for another conversation. So that'll bring up another quick break. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. And then Davis Turner up at bat. Harrison Wilson with the 3rd error of the inning for the Corndogs. And each one of them have been crucial. The first error by Sammy could have actually put this inning away with no runs allowed. The second one brings in 2 runs, or brings in an extra run, I should say. And the third one right there keeps this inning alive, as the steal attempt is good from Noah Love. So 2 runners in scoring position now for the Spinners, but not without a strike there from Davis Turner at the plate. The catcher tonight for Mooresville has already struck out once, leads Mooresville in strikeouts, and now has 2 strikes after that one is fouled back. The lefty in a 1-2 hole now has runners on second and third. Foley and Love, those 2 runners, for those curious. With the pitch in and fouled back once again. Allen stays alive. And the Corndogs trying to nip this in the bud here. Tying run on second base after such a fantastic start to the game for Queen City. Harrison Wilson beams this one in, and it is grounded, lined over to Singleton, Lewis that is, and that will bring home 2 more runs and tie this game up. 4-4 game between the Spinners and the Corndogs. And a 4-run inning here in the bottom of the 6th has completely flipped on Queen City. Harrison Wilson on the 2 RBI single right there from Davis Turner, local kid. And this Mooresville fan swarm here, really, it's been a crowded night here at MOOR Park, is now lively and hoping to take a lead as Beber up to bat goes swinging on the first one. So an 0-1 count now, and if you're the Corndogs, you have to be thinking, what happens if we even have one of those errors, even if it's the last error, not go in the wrong direction, as this game has completely turned over on itself and all momentum currently resides with the Spinners. Turner is on first. Beber has a 1-1 count to work with, make it 1-2 on the big hack, and a chance here for Harrison Wilson to, at the very least, keep things at even. But the damage has certainly been done, as that is going to be strike number 3. Harrison Wilson finally stops the bleeding, but the bleeding still happens because 4 runs here in the bottom of the 6th evens up this game between Queen City and Mooresville as we head into the home stretch of this one. And we'll be right back for the 7th after this quick break. Top of the 7th inning here between the Corndogs and the Spinners. Queen City got out to a 4-0 lead after 3, and now in the bottom of the 6th, Mooresville has climbed all the way back to tie this thing. And how will the Corndogs respond is the question. A 1-0 count here for the first batter since that implosion on defense is Caleb Singleton, who is 0 of 2 on the night, but now has a 2-0 advantage in the count. Singleton batting .286 on the year with 12 hits, 9 RBIs. Went 0 for 2 in his last contest against the Spinners here at Moore Park. 0 of 4 if you count tonight's performance as well, as that pitch is in there for a strike. Number 14, Matt Lintz, still pitching for Mooresville, the 6'3", 210-pounder from Rogers State University, who's only allowed 1 run in 8 innings pitched over 4 games, as that one is chopped foul by Singleton, evens the count at 2. Lintz entered the game with 12 strikeouts over 8 innings and change, part of a super solid rotation for the Spinners, who have the 2 reigning SCBL pitchers of the week and have shut down the Corndogs here in the past few innings. Continuing that trend as a strikeout there from Singleton. He goes down for the second time on the evening. As Harrison Bouthillette, who was struck out as well, 0 for 2 with 0 for 1 with the strikeout and a walk. Has no runners on, 1 out against Matt Lintz. Corndogs yet to get a hit off Matt Lintz this entire season as that pitch goes in for strike number 1. And in the last hit game versus Mooresville, Corndogs only put up 5 hits. Doing a better job than last game, have about 5 right now as that pitch is outside. But not too far off after a torrid start here. Three innings, 4 runs, 3 coming in the top of the third. The Corndogs haven't scored in 3 innings, but that one is flown out by Bouthillette. Not far enough, and the play made in the outfield right there. That's number 16, Aiden Evans getting underneath that one. So a fly out for Bouthillette. Brings up Miller St. John, who singled his last time up. St. John, with that hit, recorded only his second knock of the season. Now with no runners on, hoping to be the catalyst for some sort of bounce back as that pitch is in there for strike number 1. A 3-up, 3-down inning for the Corndogs would really get this place excited. Can't afford to have that if your QC is an 0-2 count quickly on St. John. And it looks like this place is about to explode. Moore Park has been quiet for most of the evening, but that will cement it. A strikeout from St. John and a quick 3-up, 3-down inning has all the momentum with the Spinners as they head up to bat in the bottom of the 7th inning. Bottom of the 7th inning here. The Corndogs need a bounce back big time as that pitch from Harrison Wilson is high and inside on the batter, Jeremy Green Jr. One-0 count as that one's high. Make it 2-0 now. Still a tie game. Not time to hit the panic button yet for Queen City, though the bottom of the 6th was pretty ugly. Harrison Wilson in the game. Got his 11th strikeout of the season to end the bleeding, as that is going to be a beautiful play made by Miller St. John, sliding over and getting that one. Then a beautiful toss over to first base. One down. And St. John, though he's struggled on the offensive side of the ball, has been, if not the best, one of the best infield defenders for the Corndogs thus far. Has made a major impact in limited time with the SCBL Corndogs team, showing his defensive prowess right there, as that pitch from Wilson is in for strike number 1 against Stephen Smith. Stephen Smith actually threw 2 innings on the mound with 5 strikeouts to close out Queen City, and went 0 of 3 in his last game against the Corndogs. And just like last inning, 2 up, 2 down quickly on the ground out. But now comes the crucial part. An inning has 3 outs, and the Corndogs just couldn't get to that third one in the bottom of the 6th. Trying to do so in the bottom here of the 7th with Adams Fawcett up to bat, the lefty. The Limestone College product from Jonesville, South Carolina, is 4 of 19 in 8 games, but where he really makes his money is with getting walked. He's been walked 11 times on the season. The next best spinner has only been walked 4 times. So Adams Fawcett, though he's only 4 of 19, has found his way on base more often than not, and done so with a golden eye, as that one goes low. So it's 1-1 count now on Fawcett with 2 outs, no runners on. If the Corndogs can retire the side, that would be a huge boost after the events of the last 2 innings. But that one's going to be a ball right there for Harrison Wilson. It's 2-1 count against Fawcett. South Carolina native sees that one go outside to bring the count to 3-1. Fawcett, a lefty outfielder who plays all over the outfield. As that one goes up high for ball number 4. A base runner there is Fawcett, and that'll send up Drury, the best power hitter on this roster, and the co-leader of home runs in the SCBL. That pitch is going to be just out of the zone for ball number 1. Drury gone yard against the Corndogs here at Moore Park earlier in the season, and grounds that one, well, fouls it straight down for a foul. 1-1 count now on Drury. One now on Drury. He's batting .313 on the season with those 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, and that will be a ball. Harrison Wilson, who really, his bread and butter is velocity. There was a nice little off speed there, just unable to catch Drury. And the pickoff attempt of Adams Fawcett won't go. 2-1 count still. 2 down, runner on first is Fawcett. As the sun is completely set, and Drury holds back on that one. A 3-1 count here for Harrison Wilson. And you wonder with the psyche and the mental aspect of things, when you start feeling like, oh, we've seen this movie before, as Back-to-back walks bring up 2 base runners here, sending number 2, Mason Lyda, up to bat. So it looks like, yeah, that's Tyler Cotto, who's moved over to second base. Really the first time we haven't seen him at first or DH or the entire season, really. So Cotto at second. Will Budnick has come in the game at first. And Mason Lyda, number 2. The lefty helped contribute to that run last time out. Sees this pitch from Wilson go high, and Harrison Bouthelette with a nice snag right there to keep that one from going towards the backstop. Game still 4-4. Corndogs desperately need to get out of this inning, though, as the pitch is high once again. Harrison Wilson in a 2-0 hole has walked back-to-back batters. Now faces Mason Lyda, who's batting 6 for 28 in 9 SCBL games. One of the few spinners to play in every single one of Mooresville's contests in the conference season. Takes that one looking for strike number 1. And Mason Lyda entering the game, second on the team in strikeouts with 9 of them. Went 1 of 2 versus Queen City the first time these two teams faced. As the pitch from Wilson is low for ball number 3, and a walk here would load the bases for the Spinners. Already have come from down 4-0 to even this one up, as the pitch from Wilson is outside. They're going to rule that a ball and make it 3 straight walks, and a visit to the mound is in store for Jeff Pluta. To his pitcher, Harrison Wilson. Looks like a little bit of not a confrontation, but he wanted to just keep going. He felt like he didn't need the visit. We'll see if Coach Pluta is going to pull him for Queen City. Now the whole infield is in, and doesn't look like a pitching change is going to be made. So Pluta got to trust his pitcher right here. Ride with Wilson, and we'll see if this pays off for Coach Pluta. Wilson trying to keep this game manageable, to say the least, as things have slipped away from the Corndogs, but the scoreboard still is even, with the leadoff batter, Aiden Evans, up to bat. And that one over the head of Harrison Bouthelette, and the run will come courtesy of Adams Fawcett. Spinners take their first lead of the night on the wild pitch. And once again, for the Corndogs, the first 2 outs have been pretty routine. But getting that third and final out in the past 2 innings has proven to be almost a mental hurdle of sorts. So now runners on second and third. Umpires going over something here. Queen City has been shut out for the past 4 innings. Meanwhile, the past 2, the Spinners have put up 5 and counting, have 2 outs here, but have Drury on third, Lyda on second, and a 1-0 count on the batter up in the box right now, number 47, Aiden Evans. So, a lot of conversation happening. Not sure what we're seeing. I think they might have wanted to clarify how many outs there were. Perhaps that's what's going on. From here, we thought there were 2 outs. The scoreboard actually not showing how many outs there are tonight at all, so that could lead to some of the confusion, but the dust has settled, and the Spinners in prime position to extend this lead that they have gotten out to. But a nice pitch down Main Street from Harrison Wilson evens the count at 1. Corndogs playing with fire now as that one is low for ball number 2. The inning started with 2 routine outs for Wilson and Queen City before back-to-back walks and then the hit. And loaded the bases. And now we sit at a 5-4 game after Wilson airmailed the first pitch of this at-bat, allowing Adams Fawcett to trot home. And now with a 2-2 count, Aiden Evans, who is a .316 batter, went over 2 strikeouts against the Corndogs. Last time out, strikes out there. Bouthelette throws it over to Budnick at first and finally gets the Corndogs out of this inning, but not without damage done as Mooresville leads Queen City 5-4 heading into the top of the 8th inning. do or die time here for the Corndogs. Got up to a 4-0 lead and now trail 5-4 after the past 2 innings have gone nothing but the Spinners' way. And to try to change the tides, a pinch hitter has been put in. Nathan Sammy's night is done at the plate. And number 26, Dave Mosry, steps up, trying to be a spark for Queen City as he makes contact there, but it's grounded right over to Lyda at third base, shortstop, excuse me, who gets the ground out right there. 0 for 1 on the night now is Mosry, which brings back up the top of the order. And if there's any group of hitters that are going to get this done for Queen City, it probably is the combination of Lohr, Pierce, and Cotto. The next 3 batters, and rightfully so, the top 3 in the Corndogs batting order, have established themselves as the most consistent contributors on offense, but easier said than done as number 14, Matt Lintz, on the bump, has thrown a gem in his time since coming into the game. And after throwing 2 innings where the Corndogs didn't get a single hit in the SCBL conference opener between these 2 squads back on the first week of June, continue to show that Matt Lintz is a Corndog killer of sorts. But Wilson Lohr, with 1 out, nobody on, attempting to change that narrative. Lohr sees that one go high for ball number 2. And on the night, Lohr, who, for those of you just tuning in or out of the loop, is the conference player of the week, is 1 for 1 on the night, has been walked twice, so a perfect on-base percentage. But that's the last thing Lohr is concerned with right now, is he's just trying to get anything going for Queen City. Have been skunked for the past 4 innings. And in danger of falling to 0-3 in the season series versus the Spinners. And with 5 teams really competing for the SCBL, regulators, for a strike right there. But with 5 out of the 6 teams all within 1 game of one another in the conference standings, every single game matters in the SCBL. And going 0-3 down in a season series, not what you want to do here, but that one is going to be a walk for Lohr. He's drawn 3 of them on the evening and got on base 4 times. Can't ask for anything more from your leadoff batter. Lohr leads the Corndogs in steals, so that's definitely something to look out for. Had 5 stolen bases last week alone, contributed towards his Player of the Week campaign. And now Cannon Pierce, who is 1 for 2 on the night, fouls that one back. Pierce singled his last time up after getting walked, and then the first inning he popped out. So a relatively middle-of-the-pack night for Pierce, who leads the Corndogs in hits, is second in RBIs, batting an astonishing .415, but that pitch is low, and is that going to be another tag? No, Lohr was able to get his foot right through the gap of the Stephen Smith's arm. It looked pretty clearly safe from here. The fans looked upset with that, but you could see why. It was a bang-bang play, but the tag not applied before the foot got there, or at least that's what the umps say. From this, we had a good angle from this point, so trying not to be a homer here. I'm the voice of the Corndogs, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna say that we deserve all the calls. That one looked like it might have been safe, though, from this point, as Pierce goes swinging on that one and fouls it back to bring the count to an even 2. 1 out with Lohr on second now. Lohr representing the tying run for Queen City. Cannon Pierce. The lefty takes this one in, and ooh, that one barely goes foul. Well, it didn't barely go foul. It just, at first it did. But still, opposite side towards the bullpen of the Spinners. Keeps the count as is. Cannon Pierce battling right here. Was 0 of 3 his last contest against Mooresville, and with a 4.15 average, it's not common you see Cannon Pierce go over. And that one is chipped over to second base, and the play is made right there by Steven Smith. That one actually chipped off the bat of Cannon Pierce, so probably why it slowly dribbled over towards Steven Smith at second. So 2 outs now, but the Corndogs have a runner on third and Wilson Lohr. And Tyler Cotto was up to bat. And Cotto was 1 of 3 on the night, but has a double. And unless you've been living under a rock, is just the guy you want at plate right now. Leading the Corndogs in hits, RBIs, home runs, on base percentage, slugging percentage, any sort of percentage. The rising senior from Queen's University of Charlotte has all those check marks covered. And with an 0-1 count, makes it 0-2, trying to take a big hack at that one. And now just 1 pitch away for the Spinners to get out of this thing. Lintz locking in on the bump. If he's able to deal this one in and get the retirement of Cotto, that could be the last major chance the Corndogs have, as only 1 inning left after that, and he gets it done. Tyler Cotto goes down swinging, and Matt Lintz brings things to the bottom of the 8th inning. Corndogs leave a runner on third and are still down 5-4 as time is waning. Bottom of the 8th inning here, and a new pitcher in for Queen City. Number 20, Tyler Hall, taking the bump. And a familiar sight for Spinners fans here, as Tyler Hall got 6 innings of work against Mooresville in his first game versus them earlier this season at Moore Park. And that fly ball from Jared Foley will be tracked down by Caleb Singleton for the first out of the inning. Corndogs putting in Tyler Hall, who has 15 strikeouts on the season, enters with 11 innings pitched and just over 3 earned run average. Hall, entering his senior year at Lander University, has 1 down and the Corndogs are going to need him to perform like he did against the Spinners last time he was here at Moore Park. He allowed 4 runs in the first inning, so not that part, but he did have 6 strikeouts and only allowed 6 hits and held the Spinners scoreless for the remaining 5 innings after that difficult first. So once Hall settled in, he looked like an ace against the Spinners and looks like one right now, as that is a big swing out of Noah Love at the plate for should be an 0-2 count, but that one is lined into the right center gap. Noah Love chugging his way across to second. Is he going to try to go for 3? No, he won't. So a double right there for Noah Love, bringing up number 35, Davis Turner. Tyler Hall threw 86 pitches here at Moore Park in game 1, or should I say game 2 of the season series. So as Davis Turner steps up to the plate, but Tyler Hall very accustomed to this Spinners lineup. You wonder if that has anything to do with the play to bring Hall in. He has a runner on second, 1 out, and this pitch is a big swing and a big miss out of Davis Turner, who has struck out once already tonight, and as we pointed out at the top of the broadcast, has a team high 9 strikeouts entering this game. Does have a pair of home runs and a team high 11 RBIs, so it's really feast or famine for Turner, and this one is going to be a dead fly ball over to short, and a play made. I believe that's Miller St. John still in the game, who gloves that one, and 2 down here for Tyler Hall and the Dogs. Which sends up number 30, Jacob Beber, a designated / extra hitter tonight, who has seen the Corndogs more than he's seen any other team in the SCBL. Have played all 3 games, I believe, versus the Corndogs, and only 4 games of conference play. And that ball is launched onto Main Street here of Mooresville, North Carolina, where after a week of rain in the region, we have had nothing but a beautiful night. Great host, as always, are the Spinners here at Moore Park. As Tyler Hall launches this one in, and it is going to be scooped up by St. John, and the play made at first. 3 outs there, and now comes the real challenge. Corndogs down 1, have 3 outs left if they want to come back in this one. Top of the 9th coming up after this quick break. Welcome back, everyone. Crunch time here for the Corndogs. And a new pitcher into the game. Aiden Evans gets a strike on his first throw of the evening. And Aiden Evans, you might be wondering, oh, that sounds familiar. Well, it is, because he's been batting tonight and playing in the field for the Spinners. Now heading to the bump and getting a 1-1 count now after that pitch is inside on Dylan Lewis, who's at the plate. Lewis has a single and a double this evening, as well as a strikeout. And now goes swinging on that one for a 1-2 count in favor of the Spinners. The Corndogs have been in this position before, down at the top of the ninth. You come to think of the game against Uwahari and Albemarle, where the Corndogs put up 8 in the top of the ninth. But that's not the way to get that done, as a second consecutive strikeout for Dylan Lewis brings up Luke Harris, who is 0 for 3 on the night. And actually, it's not going to be Luke Harris. It's going to be number 55, Will Budnick, who came into the game for Harris. Budnick, a teammate of Dylan Lewis's in college, and now with the Dogs. Hoping to work with 2 outs and give the Corndogs a fighting chance in this one. Budnick 0-0 on the night, hasn't seen an at-bat. What I meant to say is that Budnick, who takes ball 1, went 1 of 4 against Mooresville with the double last time these teams squared off here at MOOR Park. Corndogs could definitely use that right about now, but the count goes outside for a 2-0 count. Budnick on the season, batting .275 with 11 knocks, 7 RBIs. Been a mainstay in the Corndogs lineup, as that one is fouled off by the lefty to bring the count to 2-1 now. Aiden Evans deals this one in, and it is crushed, but gonna go foul. And even the count at 2. Will Budnick, who's tied for second on the Corndogs in strikeouts, but also tied for the team lead in doubles. So you're hoping, if you're Coach Pluto, when you put him in, that you're going to get the ladder. But that one is going to be a strikeout, so it's going to be the second out of the inning. And now Garrett Sander heads to the plate, with the Corndogs on the verge of dropping their 3rd game to the Spinners of the season. Sander 0 of 3 on the night. Is the last out for the Corndogs. But gets ball 1 right there. Sander, who is 3rd on the Corndogs in hits, has 15 of them on the season, 13 of them going for singles. Sees that one drop just outside of the zone, or should I say close to him. Fans here thought that was a strike. And that will extend the count to 2-0 now. Sander, the 5'8", 140-pounder, checks on that one. And the count, and it looks like he didn't. So the late call right there will bring up a 2-1 count now for Sander, as the Corndogs can see their lives flashing before their eyes. Gonna need to pull a rabbit out of a hat here, as that one is down Main Street for strike number 2. And now Evans and the Spinners just 1 strike away from coming back on the Corndogs and picking up their 3rd win of the season versus Queen City. Sander has to defend the plate now. Sees this one, and it is popped foul and back here towards the food trucks on Food Truck Night. So count remains at 2 up. The Corndogs, who didn't allow a run until the 6th inning, find themselves down here as Sanner continues to stay alive. A second consecutive foul ball. Aiden Evans has come into the game and recorded no hits so far. And this feels similar to the first game between these two here at Moore Park when Stephen Smith, another position player, came in and closed out the Corndogs. But it's not over till it's over, and Garrett Sanner now with the 2-2 pitch. Make it 3-2 on that one, high as the Sanner keeps himself battling in this one. Batting .333 on the season and sees that one go for strike number 3. Aiden Evans shuts the door on the Corndogs, and the Spinners come all the way back from down 4-0 to take the third game of the series between them and the Corndogs. That will be a crushing defeat for Queen City as they fall to 6-6 in SCBL play, 11-6 on the season before an off day tomorrow. And after all these games have been rained out this week, the schedule is kind of up in the air, no pun intended, but make sure to follow the Corndogs on all their social media at Queen City BSL, and we will keep you updated with any games, doubleheaders, start times, and everything in between. I'm Jonah Weintraub, the voice of the Corndogs. Thank you for tuning in.